Throughout history, there have been some very weird football games. Take the 2003 Champions League semi-final between Inter and AC Milan, in which the latter won by away goals despite both games being played at their home stadium, the San Siro. Or look at the 1945 friendly between Arsenal and Dynamo Moscow, where thick fog allowed the Russian side to have 15 players on the pitch at one time without the referee noticing. The point is that football is a weird game, and throughout its history there have been some very weird matches. But in my opinion, to find the strangest one, we have to travel back to January 27th, 1994, to a Caribbean Cup qualification game between Barbados and Grenada. 1994 and the years preceding it marked a period of significant change for football. The sport was about to become even more global than it already was, with that year's World Cup being held in the fresh new market of the USA. To keep up with this expansion, it was decided that football needed to evolve, and for football to evolve, new rules needed to be implemented. Some rules were better than others. For example, 2 years earlier, the International Football Association Board had decided to prevent goalkeepers from using their hands on deliberate back passes from their teammates, a rule which I think we can all agree was a good addition to the game. On the other hand, 1994 marked a year in which certain leagues decided to replace throw-ins with kick-ins, and whilst there have been some new attempts to reintroduce this rule, in 1994 at least it was deemed to be a failure due to every team treating these kick-ins as some sort of weird corner, and thus using it as an opportunity to pile all their players into the box, creating a very stop-start game. The last noteworthy rule implemented during this time period, and one of particular significance to this video, is the golden goal rule, which was introduced by FIFA in 1993. It was a rule that stated that if the scores were equal at the end of normal time, extra time would turn into sudden death, with the team who scored next instantly winning the game. The problem that golden goal had was that it encouraged teams to sit back and defend due to the fear of conceding that one goal that would immediately end the game. To rectify this, the Caribbean Football Union devised a rule that would make a goal scored in golden goal worth 2 goals. But little did they know that this small change in the original rule would be the cause of one of the strangest games in football history. The double golden goal rule works exactly like the original golden goal rule, it's just that the goal is worth double. So if a game ends 1-1 and goes to extra time, and Team A scores, the game ends instantly and Team A wins 3-1. Initially, it didn't seem like a bad idea, and actually encouraged teams to attack a bit more in golden goal, due to them being able to acquire the extra goal difference. It was all going smoothly. That is until Group 1 of the 1994 Caribbean Cup qualifiers happened. Group 1 consisted of a round-robin qualifying tournament between 3 countries, Barbados, Puerto Rico, and Grenada. It was hosted in Barbados, and the winner would qualify for the Caribbean Cup. The group kicked off with the host losing 1-0 to Puerto Rico in the first game. 2 days later, Grenada then defeated Puerto Rico 2-0 after scoring the new double golden goal. As I said, it did seem to encourage teams to score in golden goal situations. Anyway, with 2 out of the 3 games played, Grenada topped the group with 3 points and a +2 goal difference. The last game would be played between Grenada and Barbados, and for Barbados to top the group and qualify, they needed to beat Grenada by at least 2 goals. Pretty simple, right? Well, not really. The game started off relatively normally, with Barbados scoring the 2 goals they so desperately needed. This Barbados lead remained all the way to the 83rd minute, when disaster struck. Grenada had scored, and Barbados once again needed another goal to qualify. But now time was desperately running out. Barbados pushed for the goal that they required, but by the 87th minute, it appeared unlikely that they were going to break through. So they tried a different strategy. By scoring an own goal, Barbados realised that they would force extra time, which would give them another 30 minutes to score instead of the 3 that they had. And due to the double golden goal rule, if they scored in extra time, they would get the 2 goal advantage that they needed to qualify. And for this reason, in the 87th minute, Barbados player Terry Seeley intentionally scored an own goal, tying the game at 2-2. The Grenadian players were initially shocked at what just happened. Why did Barbados do this? But they quickly realised that it made sense. Barbados wanted to score the double golden goal and win the group. However, once they caught on to this, the Grenadian players realised something. They could advance from the group by scoring in either net. Once again, the game is now 2-2 and headed for extra time. If Grenada score a goal, they win the game 3-2 and obviously win the group. However, if Grenada score an own goal, they would also advance. Remember, Barbados Barbados need to win the game by 2 goals. Therefore, if Grenada scored an own goal, Barbados would only win the game 3-2, which would not be enough for them to qualify. The next 3 minutes are arguably the weirdest 3 minutes in football history, as Barbados desperately attempted to defend both theirs and Grenada's goal until extra time, and unbelievably they were somehow successful. The game then went to double golden goal extra time, now meaning that whoever scored the next goal would not only win the game but top the group as well. And of course, it was Barbados who scored. After the absolute chaos of defending both goals, they managed to regroup and striker Trevor Thorne scored the all-important golden goal, ending the game with a 4-2 victory for Barbados and causing them to top the group. Following this crazy game, Grenadian manager James Clarkson said the following in a press conference: "I feel cheated. The person who came up with these rules must be a candidate for a madhouse. The game should never be played with so many players running around the field confused." Unsurprisingly, after the disaster of this game, the double golden goal rule was scrapped by the Caribbean Cup organisers, and has never been used again since. As for Barbados, things didn't go too great for them either. Maybe the excitement of the previous game was too much, because once they got to the Caribbean Cup itself, the cup that they fought so hard to qualify for, they did not even make it out of the group, losing to Trinidad and Tobago, who would ultimately go on to win the whole tournament. The astonishing events that transpired on the 27th of January 1994 will always hold its place in football history, as one of the single weirdest games ever played in the sport. It's also a great example of how implementing a rule that on the surface seems beneficial can lead to some surprising unintended consequences. It seems like in the present day, football is in yet another period of change, and I hope lawmakers realise that even the most innocuous and sensible changes might not be what the sport truly needs. I've been Nile Talk Sports. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.